We've got a few extra minutes here, so we are going to take some of your questions that are coming in live on the chat board. Ashley has been frantically sifting through, playing God, and picking which questions get asked. So, Ashley, we're going to go through these rapid style as we can. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Okay. Nathan Johnson writes, "Hey everyone, just curious as to what your favorite trailer for a 2014 movie is at the moment. We appreciate the great work all of you do. Thanks."
I know some people didn't like it. For the life of me, I don't know why, but I think the trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past is stellar. I think it's an incredible trailer. For me, that's the best trailer of 2014 so far, Dennis.
That one's pretty good, and also I was quite surprised by the Captain America one.
Yeah, so was I.
I was kind of expecting to be let down, and when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is actually pumping me up to see it. So either X-Men or Captain America.
All right, what's next?
Marcos Lopez writes, "What do you think will be the roster for the Sinister Six film?"
Boy, we've actually talked about this on this show a number of times. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think we're going to have Rhino. We're going to have Electro. Yeah. I think Lizard is going to be a part of that. Because remember, Lizard didn't die in the first one. He was just in prison. We're going to have a Goblin. I don't think Venom's going to be there because they're setting up Venom for his own standalone film. I think
Vulture,
and
Dr. Octopus.
And Dr. Octopus. That's probably because we see in that trailer a Vulture and a Dr. Octopus outfit. If I had to go guess for an outside shot, Kraven the Hunter as an outside shot. But I do think the six that we listed are the ones that they're going to be. Any other thoughts?
No, I mean, maybe you swap Venom for Lizard if Lizard
that
isn't
is possible. Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's the roster.
All right, what's next?
Woody Kid 2K, where's your favorite place to sit in a theater and your favorite beverage and snack to have during watching the movie?
Popcorn, diet soda, and in a theater that has two sections of seats, you know, you walk in and then there's one section of seats here, the main walkway, and then another section of seats here. I like front row of this upper section because I can put my feet up, all that kind. Unless I'm in an AMC dine-in theater, in which case they're all amazing seats no matter where you sit. But that's where I like to sit, Dennis.
I like to sit in the kind of the front row of the middle section just because there's those bars there.
Me too.
So
yeah.
I can jump down if I need to run to the bathroom or get something to eat or drink. As far as snacks, popcorn, cherry Coke, sometimes a white cherry icy, stuff like that.
All right, what's next?
Afifi Hasan, why Disney doesn't release Star Wars 7 in July 2015? Opinion?
They won't be ready for July 2015. That's bottom line. They would. I'm sure they would love to release it in the summer, but they haven't started principal photography yet. They need that time, so that's pretty much. Unless you've got some other.
Well, I mean, they originally were planning this summer.
Yeah, that was the original thought.
And then they had to move it because they're delayed because of they're having script issues.
Yeah.
So
I have no doubt they'll release it in December of 2015, like they're planning. But that's why you're not seeing it in the summer.
But Star Wars as a franchise is such a juggernaut. It doesn't really matter.
Well,
you know?
But for their long-term success, I think if they're trying to set up this new universe, they want it to be as great as possible.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So.
But in terms of like releasing in summer or winter,
oh, yeah, it's going to be great.
People are going to see it no matter what.
Absolutely. All right, what's next? Let's take a couple more.
Renzzo Castaneda writes, what do you think about a Flash standalone movie?
I like the Flash character. I'm all for it. But here's the thing. I'm also, once you get outside of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, everybody else is optional. There's some great choices, but they're optional. And I don't think you create your universe to suit characters. I think you pick characters that best suit the universe you're creating. And if they think that a Flash character best suits the new universe they're creating, then I'm absolutely all for it. What I don't want, though, is they're like, if they go, Flash doesn't really fit in with this universe we're creating, let's jam him in anyway, I'd be against that. So that's my feelings on it.
I think it's going to be a while before we see a Flash standalone movie, especially because now that they've introduced his character on the Arrow
television show.
And they're going to make a spin-off series for that as well.
They've greenlit a pilot for a Flash series.
Yeah.
A lot of people got to keep in mind, though, just because there's a pilot greenlit, that does not mean a show has been greenlit.
But they want to make a show.
They want to. That's what they're aiming for.
And
but they wanted to make a Wonder Woman show, too.
Yes.
And we saw how that turned out. All right, what's next?
This is kind of a scandalous one.
Uh-oh.
Ben Rayner writes, which movie is worse in your opinion, Spider-Man 3 or Batman and Robin?
Wow.
It's easy for me.
You go first.
Batman and Robin. As much as I don't like Spider-Man 3, there were some redeeming qualities about it. There are no redeeming qualities about Batman and Robin. I mean, to me, that was a big F you to the fans. That was one of the worst movies ever made. Spider-Man 3 was a pretty bad movie. I don't know if I would put Spider-Man 3 as one of the worst movies ever made, but Batman and Robin, definitely.
Yeah, I'd say Spider-Man 3 to me is one of the most disappointing films I've ever seen. Because after Spider-Man 1, 2, the expectations were so high, and then it laid such a big egg of crap. But I got to agree with you, actually, you're right. That Batman Robin movie is a legendarily and epic scale, terrible film on every level. Not even so bad it's good, it's just so bad it's bad. So, all right, what's next?
INovationFILM writes, would Joss Whedon have been allowed to make up his own superhero characters for Avengers 2 to avoid the rights issues that come with certain Marvel superhero characters?
No, I don't think so. Disney and Marvel right now are keen on promoting and building up their existing properties. And they have a huge roster, a massive pantheon of characters that they can use. There's no need to create brand new characters like that. So no, I don't think Disney would have allowed Whedon to do that.
And not only that, you get a whole rights issue thing. Then Joss Whedon creates it. Then who owns it? Well, Marvel and Disney owns it.
Yeah, because Marvel's like, if it's going in our movie, the character belongs to us.
Yeah, and then why would Whedon want to create a character that, let's say, becomes super popular
and belongs to somebody else?
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't work both ways.
All right, let's take two more.
Okay. Unknown Resistance writes, if Harrison Ford is in episode 7, do you think they should have a scene where he shoots first?
That would be bad to do because you don't create your story to slip in a gag. But if they found a way that it fits and it wasn't too jarring and pulls you out of the disbelief of the narrative you're watching, they found a way to do a little thing like that, the fans would laugh a lot. It would be pretty cute if they could find a creative way to do that. But I'd say don't even try. Don't bother trying.
Personally, I'd love it. I think it'd be great. I'd laugh out loud, and I'd say even try and squeeze it in, even if it doesn't fit. Just put it in there.
All right, let's do the last one.
The Neg1 writes, what are your thoughts on changing the race of some of the superheroes in the DC universe just to show diversity and not seem like they're whitewashing the JLA franchise?
Well, I mean, there's this whole thing about whitewashing and stuff like that. Whitewashing is when you take something that's supposed to be one thing and then whitewash it into something else. Wonder Woman is supposed to come from this Greek descendant mythical race thing, so the fact that she looks Caucasian, that's part of the story. That's the way it looks. I mean, I have no problem. I've always said this. I had no problem with them changing Kingpin from a white dude to a black dude. I have no problem with them changing Nick Fury from a white dude to a black dude. As long as being white, or any race, isn't a core essential element to who the character is. You can't make Black Panther Chinese. You just can't, because his race is a core essential element to who he is.
Chinese Panther to the rescue!
But, and Wonder Woman, you can't change, I don't believe you change her from white to black because of what the core essential element of what her history is. But I've said before, look, I wouldn't change Superman white to black, but at the same time, who's to say Kryptonians are white, brown, yellow, black, whatever. Maybe Kryptonians all speak with heavy Italian accents. I'd be cool with that. Giovanni Kent, I'm cool. That sounds good to me. Basically, here's my thing. All other things being equal, leave comic book characters the way they are. If you want to change the race, as long as it doesn't affect the core essential elements to who the character is, then I'm okay with it in general, but don't just do it for the sake of doing it. When they've done it in the past, I've been fine with it. Perry White is now Morpheus. I'm cool with that. No problem. That's great. But don't just do it for the sake of doing it. That's generally how I feel.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, whitewashing is more of let's say take original characters that were of different ethnicities and then change them white. That's not what they're doing with JLA. I mean, those characters are all white.
It's like Christian Bale playing Moses. Maybe you could say that's a little bit of whitewashing going on there.
Where the sex thing, though, is a little different when they changed
right. Genders,
yeah, Jimmy Olsen to Jeannie Olsen. I think that's her name.
Jenny Olsen, yeah.
Because that dynamic is a lot different than Jimmy Olsen being like the guy that falls around Clark Kent and worships him. You know?
Right. But the reason I didn't have a problem with that is because I don't think it's exaggerating to say that Jimmy Olsen not an important character when it comes to this movie universe, so it almost didn't matter.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.